Okay, so now briefly I wanted to talk about okay, thank you. I wanted to talk about how these entrepreneurs want to think about several questions about how to start, the risk involved, how to go about it, how to as the content. The best that can be after that. I don't understand. Can you hear me now? So all those questions brought up these entrepreneurs when I was pondering over them, and then I had a consideration. Instead of answering these questions one after another, many of them I don't even have answers. Myself, I'm saying ask some. So I have the idea why not to bring people that are in things that are ahead of me. Then I will ask myself, how would I put it together? What would I call it? So the idea entrepreneurs came out. And then I reached out to him for decades as been learning for this kind for me. Hopefully we'll have something on. Please feel free, you should go to discussion class. It should be an interactive one. Ask your question when when needed. But for now, please mute your mics, then get your pen and jot that ready. I assure you, with someone you would have paid a lot to listen to. But thank God for salvation that is free. So it's free with it. This one is free today. Okay, so quickly, I want to say thank you to all that are online already, those that will join, for trusting that I have something that you can partake of. So I'll quickly go through his profile and then I will let it be. Okay. Sylvester, can you hear me now? Live. Is there anybody sleeping in the to hear me? Okay, not allowed to levels from the earpiece I'm using. Okay, so Kelechi Onyike is an architect, artist, and career coach mentor. He is a co-founder and managing director of Podex Associates Limited, an architecture and creative design practice based in Lagos, Nigeria. He was the best registered student of the Department of Architecture, University of Nigeria in 2001. He also holds a master's degree in architecture from UNO and a certificate in entrepreneurial management from the Enterprise Development Center, Pan Atlantic University, owners of Lagos School, Lagos. Kelechi received a State Merit Award for distinguished service to the nation after his NYSC in Nasarawa State in 2005. He is a full member of the Nigerian Institute of Architects and is registered with the Architects Registration Council of Nigeria. As a strong designer, Kelechi has led different design teams to routinely contested architectural design competitions, including the design of the high-profile headquarters of the Petroleum Technological Association Port Harcourt in 2008. He also has experience in graphic design and the extensive use of artistic media. His interests include art, writing, motivational speaking, meeting people, and traveling. He is passionate about capacity development, collaborative work, and entrepreneurship. He is a volunteer facilitator with the Faith Foundation. He has also been a teacher, mentor, and minister at the Young Adults Church, Redeemed Christian Church of God Powerhouse in Bagada, Lagos, since 2009. He is married to Kelechi Onyike and they have 3 children. Please, friends, at this point, we'll receive our resource person, actor Kelechi Onyike. Sir, over to you, sir.
Thank you very much, Ozioma. Thanks for inviting me, and thanks to everybody who's joined today. I'm hoping we'll have a good time today. Glad to see a number of people here so far. I recognize some of the names. Some people I have met personally, and quite a few that I haven't met. But I'm hoping that today we'll be able to say a few things that would inspire those of you who are entrepreneurs or who are engaged in one kind of entrepreneurship or the other, or aspiring entrepreneurs. I'm hoping that some of the things I'll say today will be useful to you. I would be trying to just, even though I'll be following a slide, I would also be trying to be open to share from my own experience. I'm still on a journey. I can look back with gladness and be grateful to God for where I've come on this journey. But I also still have a distance ahead of me that I aspire to attain. But Ozioma has asked me to be on this, and I'm truly delighted because capacity building is a passion I have, and I'm really glad to be able to share some of my experience with people on this forum. Thanks for reading out the bio and sharing a bit of my experience, a little bit about who I am. I think just to summarize, it to suffice to describe me as a Christian, as well as a professional in business. It's important to think about both together because it will help you to appreciate some of the things that are important to me and how what I do finds its perspective. Okay, I think I'm able to share my slides, so let me do this. Okay, I hope everybody can see the slide. Can you see my screen?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir, we can see it.
Okay,
yes, sir.
So, all right, so since that's the case, maybe I'll turn my video off just to make it easier. I'll turn it on maybe if I need to answer questions so that you can focus on the slides. Okay. All right, so let's move on. Like I said, I just titled this Entrepreneurship, a Christian in Business. The reason why I just think this context is necessary is particularly because I know I'm familiar with some of the people from the audience, and I also understand that it's not just talking about entrepreneurship in general, but also from the point of view of somebody who's a believer and in business. All right, so let me just move on. Okay, quick introduction. I wish this was a live and interactive class because, you know, in institutions like this, to be nice to ask people what their understanding of entrepreneurship is and hear different perspectives and try to put it in context. So just for the sake of this discussion, I've put a definition forward here. So entrepreneurship, an entrepreneur is someone who organizes, manages, assumes the risks of a business or enterprise. So you can't separate entrepreneurship from risk taking. An entrepreneur is an agent of change, entrepreneurship is the process of discovering new ways of combining resources. So just note this definition. There are others, so you can check those for yourself. So an entrepreneur is someone who organizes. That means an entrepreneur actually needs to have organizational skills, management skills, but very importantly, assumes the risk. Without taking risk, there's no entrepreneurship. So every entrepreneurship has to take a measure of risk. Someone said that if you wait until all the lights are green, you probably will never take off. Sometimes you have to just take off with the first green light and trust that the other lights will open along the way as you move on. So an entrepreneur is an agent of change. So there are oftentimes people who are trying to change certain scenarios in order to convert to business. Entrepreneurship is the process of discovering new ways of combining resources. Okay, so that's just to set this context. I'll just do a little recap of my experience again. So I didn't just start a business in the last few years, even though this is what people know more. But I'll tell you a little bit about my experience. I began actually developing small businesses in secondary school. In secondary school, I once got clippers. So I had a gift. My older brothers bought me a gift, clippers. And so I tried my hands on doing a haircut business, a barbing business in secondary school. So I brought the clippers. I learned to cut hair, then you know how secondary schools could be, boarding schools. I just commandeered some junior students who had bushy hair, sat them down and gave them free haircuts. Meanwhile, I was using them to learn. So I did a little bit of business in secondary school, tried my hands on a few things. When I left secondary school, I started doing a couple of artistic works. I'll do, at that time, I used to do badges. I used to do just artistic badges. I would laminate them. I would, draw some things on them, write inscriptions, laminate them, put like a safety pin at the back and go to some Christian bookshops and try to sell them. I made a few sales. I also sold to a number of. I was very active in FECA at the time, so I sold a couple of things to FECA. I sold badges. I even made a FECA badge, which we used to wear to fellowship proudly. Did a number of those kind of artistic things. I was selling, so I was already kind of trying out, these things and making mistakes in the process, but just learning. Then when I got into university, or just before I got to university, we had this group. We tried to form a group in FECA then called Talent Squad. I'm referring to FECA because I know quite a number of people in this audience are FECAites. So we wanted to form a group, a creative group in FECA. So we agreed that we would, when we come to fellowship, we'll come to the meeting rather, we'll bring names. So the name at the time that I had in mind was the name, I just had this idea about a name, Bricklayers. And for me, the idea of bricklayers was builders of the church. And I was thinking of it at the time as people who are engaged in creative enterprise and make money, which could then support the church. So, but I came late for the meeting. And so by the time I got to the meeting, they had already selected the name FECA Talent Squad. So that discussion was closed. So I decided then to now use Bricklayers for myself and my own business. So that's how I started using the name Bricklayers. And, as I got into university, I went on into doing banners, stickers, posters, graphic works. I used to collaborate then with Seamless. We used to do a few things together. But while I was in school, I did a lot of this work with banners. I even at some point then used to do banners in Owerri. At that time, Winners Chapel was, a dominant ministry in Owerri. And at some point, I had this contract to provide banners for them every Sunday. So I would do about 5 banners for 2,000 each at a time. That was like 10,000. I'm referring to around the year 1999, 2000, 2001, thereabouts. And I think 2000, 2001, thereabouts. So I'll do banners, I'll make money from it. And so I started employing people. So I would employ some of my friends. I would have them work at my house, we'll make banners, we'll make stickers, and then I'll pay them a daily wage. I'll buy them lunch, and I even sometimes give them Christmas gifts. So I was already learning and understanding managing staff, managing clients, collecting, getting paid for my work, and things like that. So I ran that business together with a few friends. A few friends joined me in university, so I did a bit of that business while I was in school. In fact, I had grown it to a point where some people were suggesting that I should just focus on graphic arts and graphic design rather than get into architecture, even though I was studying architecture in school. But upon graduation, I made a decision to focus on architecture. I just made a decision to focus on architecture, not necessarily on graphic art, but I had it in mind that graphic art to be something I'll do on the side, or hopefully combined with architecture. I wasn't quite sure how that would play out. But upon graduation and completion of NYSC, I went to paid employment for about 7 years. And my objective at that time going to paid employment, even though I knew down the line I wanted to do something on my own, but I went to paid employment because I was looking for capacity. My intention was to build a strong foundation. My mantra at the time was that if you want to build a skyscraper, you need to spend time building a solid foundation, because the strength of your foundation will determine the quality you can build, right? For anybody who's involved in building would be able to relate to what I'm saying. So I went looking out for the best firm I could get, or looking out for top firms that could give me the kind of experience I was looking for. I had a few stints, first an interior design firm, and then with a construction company before I eventually moved to Lagos. So I started off in Abuja because I wanted an easier life. I'd heard about Lagos traffic, Wahala in Lagos, which I wanted to avoid. But I realized that at that time, because my focus was to be trained, my focus was to get skills. So I was looking for that in Abuja, and I realized that the best firms were not in Abuja, the best firms were in Lagos. So eventually I had to make a move to Lagos, and I went to Lagos and immersed myself in a practice, sat down on the tutelage and learned as much as I could, developed my business skills, developed my creative design skills, and just allowed myself to be trained until a point where I thought I was ready. Okay, so that's just to give you an idea of my background. At that point, in those early years of training, my focus was not really what I got paid, to be honest. My focus wasn't really the salary I was going to be earning. My focus was just in getting the skills I needed for my future. I was interested in building capacity. I was interested in building a foundation. I always say to myself that 10 years from now, I want to be at a point when they're looking for the best in my field, I could step up because I have the training. So I wasn't necessarily just looking for the best paying job, right? I was looking for the job that would give me the opportunity to develop myself to the best I could possibly be. And that's exactly what I did. So in 2013, I led a team of partners in founding Podex Associates. At the commencement, we had 3 staff, that's including me. The 3 people in the picture you see here were the 3 of us. Myself in the middle, my partner, Busayo, in blue, and then our very first staff, Chimere. And by the way, he's still a member of our team, one very valuable member of our team till date. So he was the first person to join us. And so that was the 3 of us setting out there, and we would sometimes sit around the table and work. We had quite a bit of work to do, at least enough to occupy all 3 of us. Our projects then were mostly residential homes, commercial projects, and so on. But we had our aspirations high. So today, our team has grown in size and experience, and also in quality and scale of clients and projects. All right, I'll say to God be the glory. Today we're working for a variety of private clients, and we're also working for some multinational companies. We're also we've done a work for a state government. The kind of projects that we do today, or rather, the kind of projects we did at the time we started would be unattractive to us today, because we're just growing in capacity, the scale of work we do, the kind of fees we can charge. Today, maybe the highest fee at the time we started is probably less than what we would even consider as our, what we would accept as a minimum for that kind of work today. So yeah, I'm glad to say that we've had growth over the years, but this growth hasn't just been automatic. I'll share with you some of the things I've learned along the way, and I'm still learning, because I still think of myself as being on that learning curve. So the first thing I'll say to you as an entrepreneur or an aspiring entrepreneur is, what value are you offering? What value are you offering? Because you are rewarded for the value you create. I've said it somewhere before that, I beg, help me buy is not a strategy. And please help me, I'm your brother. Please help me, I'm from your village. Please help me, I'm a member of your church. Please help me, I'm your classmate. It's not a strategy. It's not sustainable. People might do it once or twice, but after a while, they won't patronize. They'll start dodging you, start avoiding you. So you have to be bringing value, because you're rewarded for the value you create. The more value you create, the greater the reward. I said that when we first started, we probably charged fees that were, it took us courage to charge fees at up to ₦1 million at the time. Because at that time we were still building ourselves, we're still building what we could offer, but we had value. People were still willing to pay us what we could charge at that time. Today, we can charge a lot more than we charged then. And it's because the value we give is growing. The value that we bring to people's projects is growing. The value we offer, because people come to us, want to do a building project that may run into millions, and they need professionals to guide them to ensure that that investment is maximized. That investment gets the maximum value. And so that's the value we create to our clients. I also guide them through the process of ensuring those buildings are built properly. So whatever business you're offering, you need to know the value you're bringing. So you should have a good understanding. You should have a good understanding of the type of business you wish to enter. You enter a business, I think there's some noise in the background. I appreciate if you mute your microphone. You enter a business from a point of understanding, and you gain understanding by internship or apprenticeship or by research or by studying. So you gain this understanding by learning it. I told you about how I spent time in a firm, right? It's a form of apprenticeship, understanding the ropes, understanding how decisions are made, understanding the mistakes that people make, and knowing how to avoid them when I get to that point. And you should know what differentiates you from other people who are offering the same service. Because most times when you're about to start a new business, there might be other people who are already doing it. You're asking yourself, what's the difference? What's going to make me different from these other people? Why would people overlook those people and come to me? Why would somebody come to me, the new fashion designer in town, if there are already established fashion designers out there? What makes you different? What's your unique selling point? You need to know that as a business person, an entrepreneur. The question would be, are you committed to excellence? The next point you need to know is you need to have a vision. You also need to have strategy. You need to know what you want to achieve, where you want to be in 5 years, where you want to be in 10 years, where you want to be in 20 years. So that's what will drive you. That's what will create the drive. When you have that picture of what you want to accomplish, it creates a drive. It creates a drive. For us as a business, we have a vision to be at the top of the industry, the most respected in the industry. That drives us. It drives us to constantly improve ourselves. It drives us to constantly get better and better. I know we're not there yet, but we're growing and we're gradually being recognized. Some client approached us a few weeks ago and said, even though he had heard about us, he said he ran into an article that talked about the top 40 firms in Lagos. I hadn't even heard about the article here. So I went and checked it up and saw it, and our name was on that list. It's not to say that that's an authoritative list, but it just goes to show that we've come into a space now where we're being recognized. And a lot of that is driven by vision, a picture that drives you, that compels you to go towards a goal, to keep improving yourself. routinely, I come into the office, and when I'm talking to members of my team, I tell them we're building a world-class business. We joke about it sometimes. I just say, you know what we're doing? We're building a world-class business. So it's important that we understand how the day-to-day activities that we carry out are adding up towards our goal, adding up towards our vision. And then as you build a team as an entrepreneur, you also need to communicate it regularly to your team. You need to help your team to see the picture you're seeing so that they can run with you. The Bible talks about writing a vision, making it plain, so that those who see it can run with it. So a leader, an entrepreneur who is in leadership needs to be a good communicator. You need to have the ability to paint the picture in the minds of your team members. They need to be able to see the vision that you see. I think I'm very privileged to lead a very dedicated team, a very committed and passionate team. And I believe that one of the things that has helped this greatly is the ability to communicate a clear vision. When people can see that we're chasing something, they are all energized to chase that vision with you. And when we switched from real-time working in the office to remote working, I've heard many other colleagues and contemporaries complain that they have people who are not committed. But that hasn't been my experience. My experience is that I have a lot of very committed people. I can go to sleep knowing that I have people I can depend on. And that's a lot. It has a lot to do with communicating your vision, and also being not just communicating it, but also you being committed to pursuing it, because your people can see your actions. They can see your commitment to pursue that vision. You need to constantly sharpen your strategy. So the vision is where you want to go, but the strategy is how you're going to get there. And a strategy is not fixed. The strategy evolves, because as you keep on looking at the situation, if you know how to play chess, you would understand strategy. Because in chess, you don't just play your game. You need to be watching what your opponent is doing so that you know how to react to your opponent's play. So that's what strategy is about: watching the environment, watching the new trends, watching what your competition is doing, watching what your clients are demanding, watching new developments in the industry, and being able to respond to them strategically. Last year, 2020, was a big test in strategic thinking for business leaders, because the business playing field changed. Suddenly, people were having to work remotely. Suddenly, people were no longer meeting face to face. So you had to just have a different strategy. Suddenly, people can now be talking to people around the world, offering the same service that you offer. So strategy was very key. So you need to constantly sharpen your strategy. You need to be abreast with trends and development in your industry. It's important as an entrepreneur to be abreast with the trends in your industry. What are my competitors doing? What are the new ideas that people are sharing? That's why going to conferences, participating in industry-led meetings is important. Even talking to your competitors. It's not everybody that you're competing. It's not everybody that you should be thinking about as just competing. Sometimes you can just be sharpening each other. So you need to keep abreast with what the industry is. You need to read. You need to be connected to articles. Who are you following on Instagram? Who are you following on Twitter? On Facebook? Are you following people who are industry leaders, who are sharing things you can learn from? Who are you listening to? What books are you reading? What things are you listening to? So these are things you do to keep abreast with trends and developments in the industry. It's very important as an entrepreneur. You also need to know what are the government policy decisions? How could they affect you? If government changes a law, it could affect you. For instance, there's a new thing government brought out now regarding tax, and how a software platform allows people to remit their taxes and so on. And we need to be aware of these things. Has government changed regulations that affect your industry? I'm saying this because I know a number of people here might be in Owerri, but if you're looking towards being a world-class business leader, then you need to be thinking national, you need to be thinking global. And as you're doing that, you really need to be aware of government policy decisions and how it could affect you. What's happening with the exchange rate? How does it affect my business? Are there things you're doing that are import dependent? When government when CBN comes up with some policies, sometimes it can affect the demand for FX or the supply of FX. Those are things you need to understand. What are the government bans a product, that may automatically create an opportunity. When government banned importation of furniture, it opened opportunities for furniture producers locally. So you need to be paying attention to what government is doing, because in that you can find clues that could help you with your strategy as a business leader. The next point I want to say is that you are not your business. I'll explain what I mean. You're not your business. You know, many people run their businesses as though their business and themselves are the same, but that's not correct. That's not the right way to run a business. You need to understand that there should be a clear dividing line between you as an individual and your business. I can tell you quite confident, like Kelechi Onyike and Podex are not the same. Podex is Podex, Kelechi is Kelechi. We're completely different. It is not mixed up in my mind. I know some people sometimes say, hey, Podex. Some people may call me Podex sometimes, maybe because I'm the face of the company, I'm the MD of the company. But in my head, I don't mix the two. The two are completely separate. Podex is an organization that I'm a part of. I am me, right? And a lot of that has come from a clear understanding of the legal status of a business and also the structures. I'll throw a little light on this. If you have lawyers in the house or you talk to a lawyer can educate you that when you register a business, especially if it's a limited liability company, it's the business automatically takes on an identity of its own. So the business is like an individual. It's like a different person, right? Assuming the business is personified, the business can be a person. So it's as if when you say Podex, you're referring to a person. And when you say Kelechi, you're referring to another person. So we need to learn to separate the two, and it should follow down to the way we run the business. For instance, our business in Podex, the accounts of the company is completely separate from my personal account or the account of any of the founders or any of the people in management. Completely separate. Right? Completely separate accounts. When you're paying Podex, you pay straight to Podex. When you're paying me, you pay. I earn a salary, right? The company pays me a salary. That's how we structured it. So I can't just say, okay, because I'm the MD, accountant, how much is in there? Bring. I want to pay children's school fee. I can't do it. We've created structures that don't allow that to happen. The company pays me a salary, and I use my salary to solve my own issues, right? So there are times when I don't even have cash. I'm low. My cash flow is low, but the company has money. But because of the structures we've created, I cannot go and just take company money. We have structures that don't allow me to do that. And these are very important lines we need to establish. If you want to go find business, it's important to draw these lines quickly, because there's so many entrepreneurs that are running their company account as though it's their personal account. You want to pay school fees, you see Chiki Enterprises is transferring to the school. You want to give your wife money. Chiki Enterprises is transferring money for madam to go to the market. You want to pay your rent. Chiki Enterprise is paying for your rent. That's wrong corporate governance. You need to separate the accounts. The company pays you, whether it's a salary or it's dividend or if it's profit sharing, and then you limit your expenses to what you're paid by the company. That way, the company account is healthy and can run. You know, because of this discipline in running business, I've had a situation where we've never paid salary. The latest we paid salaries is 1 week into the next month. And that has only happened once or twice in our 8 years of running the business. Every other time, you can verify this from the staff of the company, salaries are usually paid before the end of the month. And it's not dependent on whether I as a person have money, because sometimes I'm also waiting for salary because maybe I'm low on cash. So that's how you run a business. What this has done is that this has ensured that the business is healthy. It has ensured that when clients pay us money to execute a business, the money doesn't get diverted. The money is used for that thing. You would not hear that a client has paid us 5 million for a project and somehow the money has been used to go and buy Oga's new car or something like that, because the accounting processes allow us to separate those things. Okay, so it's important that as a business owner you understand these things. You should register your business. So as soon as you can, have your business registered. You can seek the advice of a lawyer to find the most suitable business type, whether it's a sole proprietorship or a partnership or a limited liability. And lawyers can educate you and guide you. If you're going to partnerships, please ensure that you have a proper shareholders agreement at the beginning. You do not build business just on friendship. Don't say, because we're good friends, let's become business partners. business partnership has been known to destroy friendships because the things that hold friendships together are not necessarily the same qualities that hold businesses together. In businesses, work ethics, discipline, transparency, alignment of values is very crucial. Whereas if we're friends, we may just be friends, based on whatever it is that holds us together. So a proper shareholders agreement is important at the early stages of a business to avoid disputes and to ensure that the partners are running their business in a way that is already agreed. It's always good that decisions are taken before the problem challenges come, because a shareholders agreement ensures that you already agree on how you will resolve issues before the issues happen. It always helps to make these issues easier to resolve. So please get a shareholders agreement if you need to do that. My co-founders and I had a shareholders agreement, which, even though we've modified it as time has gone on, but it has helped us to have clear defined responsibilities. All right, the next point I'll say is structure your business, especially if you want to grow. What I say to people is, if you start initially as just you in the business, people will come to you because of what they know you can do. But sooner or later, especially if you're good at what you do, that thing will start growing. That thing you're doing will start growing. And when it starts growing, it becomes necessary for you to employ people. And as you employ people, the people may not necessarily think as you would or do things exactly as you would. That's where you start needing structures. Structures helps to delegate responsibility. Structures helps to assign levels of decision making. Structures help to separate responsibility. So it's good to build structures in your business. For instance, the level where my business is right now, the structure is that I'm the MD, but I have a management team, people who are heads of department running different arms of the business. And those HODs also have people who report to them. So that's the level we are today. As we grow to the next level, I probably will then become maybe like a group CEO. The current management level will now become CEOs of subsidiaries. Their current subordinates will then become maybe management staff, and they will now have a new level of people who will then become the ground staff. And that's how you keep on growing structures. So seek advice, seek guidance, read books, if necessary, talk to a consultant and help to structure your business. That's what helps you to grow and still maintain the same quality as you're growing. Understand the laws regulating your type of business. Have a system for storing and retrieving information. Okay, don't just be saying, okay, when somebody is looking for information, they have to go to your personal laptop or to your phone. Have a way, have filing systems, have files, have ways of storing information. In our office today, we have a server. Every job in the business is numbered. Information is stored on the server. So every time people can go and retrieve information from the server. We also have files in the office where we file, printed documents. So this helps us to be able to retrieve information. The older you get as a business, the more important this becomes, because once you start it from the beginning, you keep on growing. So today, somebody called me recently, a project we did around 2015. They're asking for some information. It's easy for me to get it, because I'll just go to the server, look for the job number, open it. Inside the server, things are arranged, architecture, engineering drawings, bill of quantities, documents, this, that, pictures. I can easily pull it out within a few minutes. I can pull out that information, even though it's 5 years old. Even when I don't remember the details, when I go to the storage system, I can pull out the information. Again, I'll say open a bank account for your business, separate from your personal account. I talked about separating it earlier on. Pass your income through your company account. Let people pay you through your company account. Let them not be paying you personally. Also make payments through your company account. This helps you to establish what they call a paper trail. If you ever need a bank loan, the banks would want to look at your paper trail. The paper trail is partly the records of your financial transactions, because the money has been going through your account. It helps your business to be considered credit-worthy and for you to be able to attract finance if you need it. So as early as you can, set up a paper trail, okay? Commit to excellence. As a business, you need to be committed to excellence. I believe a goldfish has no hiding place. The Bible says, have you seen a man who is diligent in his business? Have you seen a man who is diligent in his business? He will stand before kings. I have seen a number of business people start small, but because they've remained committed to what they are doing, After 5 years, 10 years, you start seeing the difference. You start seeing them becoming leaders in their industry, leaders in their trade, respected names, because they've committed themselves to excellence. So be somebody who's committed to excellence, committed to constant development and improvement. Always try to improve yourself. Right? In my office, I can say gladly that when we look at our archives, look at our records over the past 8 years, if you look at the quality of work we're doing, it's constantly changing, constantly improving. And that's how you get to the top. And no wonder we're beginning to attract big companies. No wonder we're beginning to attract wealthy individuals, because we're improving ourselves. We're not yet at the top, but we're constantly improving. And if you constantly improve, sooner or later, the Bible says that you will stand before kings. You'll get to the top. If you keep going up, sooner or later, you'll be at the top. So you have to be committed to excellence, committed to doing things right. You may not make profit on every job, but try to be committed to stamping excellence on every job you do. Because one job becomes your platform for referral to the next one. So don't just say, this job, I must make money. Sometimes it's not about money. There's a project we did, and for the scale of that project, we're not even paid that well. But that job has become the referral point for us to get big jobs of that kind, because we committed to excellence. We didn't just take the easiest way to do it. We found a way that we did it in a way that was even a bit difficult, but it was the best way. So we're always thinking, what is the best thing for this job? What's the best thing for this product? Not necessarily what is the most profitable. Not always thinking what's the most profitable way for me to do this job. Sometimes we find ourselves doing things on a job that the client is not going to pay us for, doing things that the client will not even notice, but because we're just committed to excellence on every job. If you can commit yourself to excellence in the future, you see yourself just rising to the top. That's diligence. Then I'll talk about technology. As an entrepreneur, you need to know how to use new technology to your advantage. New technology, and be somebody who is open to new technology. If you're not very tech savvy, then find somebody in your organization who is tech savvy, or listen to advice, or get an IT support if you need it. But embrace new technology. Who knew that seminars of this kind will be widely done virtually? It's this technology that's making this possible. Many of the Zoom had been in existence before 2020, but 2020 just blew people's awareness open, right? So those who had already positioned themselves for virtual working, those who had already positioned themselves for the use of new technology, had a competitive advantage. So you have to be embracing new technology, right? Some people tend to be very conservative, saying, no, I like paperwork, I like to print things out. If you do that, sooner or later, you become a dinosaur, you'll be left behind. You can even see even churches are beginning to embrace new technology, because new technology is going to keep changing dynamics, keep changing the playing ground. And you have to, as a business, embrace new technology to advance your business. You have to be familiar with the software you need. Sometimes it may not be you as a person who has those skills, but you may need to embrace teamwork. Find people who can help you to embrace it. I'm not particularly a very tech-savvy person, but I have members of my team who are. And I listen to them. I listen to what they're saying. I listen to the new trends they're talking about. I ask questions, and that's how we embrace new technology to grow our business. Today, the server I talked about, we used to have a server just in the office. Today, our server is online, it's on the cloud. So even sitting in my home, I can open files in the office. I can open, all the job folders. I can easily reach information. Members of the team can easily upload information. I can retrieve it in my house. That's what makes business work. All right. So we need to embrace new technology. Then I'll talk about your image and your brand. You need to communicate yourself very well. You need to package yourself. In Nigeria, we tend to call this packaging. Brand your business in the way you want to be perceived. It matters. Friends, it matters. Your company logo matters. Sometimes you see some logo. If you give me your business card and I look at your logo, sometimes from your logo, I start getting an idea of the kind of company you are. When I see a very sharp, well-designed logo, I know these people are serious. These people are meticulous. They pay attention to details. When I see a business card that looks well printed, looks smart, not this type that they'll print and the ink is smearing. They print it on cheap paper, or it's looking like you went to a cheap printer. When I see your business card looking cheap, I think of you as somebody who's not committed to excellence. Or you send us a letter on a letterhead that has oil stains, or you send us something on a letterhead that has typographical errors. These are things that affect your image. And the image you project to a lot of times affects the way people perceive you as a business. And perception is crucial. Somebody once said, you don't get what you deserve, you get what you negotiate. And your ability to negotiate is largely informed by how people perceive you. One of my clients said to us sometime last year, that when he was coming to us, one of the things he paid attention to was the location of our office. He says, if your office is located in VI, then you people must be serious. So where your office is located is important. How your office looks is important. Yes, you may not be able to afford the best office location, but the little you have, clean it up, make it look sharp, make it look good, use it to give the best possible brand perception you can get. Online presence, your online presence, use it to project your business as professional, as attentive, as strong, as whatever character you want people to appreciate your business to be. That's how your online presence should be, and this is an ongoing thing. When you have an email for your business, please use professional emails, not names like fineface95@yahoo.com. If I see that, I'll say this guy is not serious. Chichi the fine girl @gmail.com. Lucas my G at whatever. Use professional names. If the ideal thing is to have a domain name, like my email is konyike@podexassociates.com. That's a very professional email. Get that if you can. But if you can't get that and you're doing Gmail or Yahoo, then at least have a decent looking Yahoo email. My email address will be kelechionyike@yahoo.com or kelechionyike@gmail.com. Not Kelechi forever @yahoo.com. Please don't use emails like that if you want to be perceived as a serious business person. And I'm saying this with the mindset that you're not thinking of yourself as a local champion. You're not trying to be operating just within your local government area. If you're thinking about writing an email to an international client and having them take you seriously, these things matter. Get a landline if you can, because a landline shows that you have a fixed location. Or at least have a business line, right? And people will be able to reach you and so on. I know that this is changing today. This may not be 100% as relevant as it used to be, but it is still relevant to have a physical location where people can meet you. Get an office. Once your business is able to afford an office, try and get an office. If you're working from home, if you can, try and get a dedicated space where you can run your business. Or depending on the kind of business you do, it may be a workshop, it may be a shop, it may be a showroom, whatever it is. But where your business operates from is important. It's important for your business perception. Sometime last year, we got engaged to start working for one of the big telecommunication companies in Nigeria. Part of the criteria for registering Podex as a vendor to work for them was that they came to our office. They paid a surprise visit. One day they just sent some people to come to our office to check out if our office is a real office or if we're just working out of our booth. Some people operate their office from their booth, the booth of their car, or from their suitcase. They're called suitcase contractors or suitcase businesses, right? As soon as you can, try to have a proper business address, right? A place where people can find you, especially as you start growing as a business. It's okay to start from your house. It's okay to start from your father's house, or it's okay to start from your father's garage. After all, many of the tech giants started that way. But as you start growing and you start getting resources, let this be a priority to invest in setting up a place that's a business space that you can be identified with. Then let me say that people make it happen. People are very important. If you're an entrepreneur running your business like it is your private business and everybody else are your slaves, your business will not go far. You have to understand the value of people. In Podex, we value people. People are valuable. We value people. I don't joke with people. I don't play with talent. I love to have the best talent around me because that's what allows the business to grow. That's what accounts for a lot of the success we've had as a business. We've attracted people. I go out of my way to look for talented people. Sometimes you might be wondering, how will I pay them? But let me tell you, when you bring talented people into your business, they'll grow your business to a point where the business can pay them. That's how it works. Because you need to think about your business beyond. If you want to grow a great business, you need to be thinking beyond yourself. Are you hiring people that can represent you, that can communicate the image that you want your business to be recognized by? Is that who you're hiring? Are you hiring people that they can write an email and send that you would not review? You don't have to review it because are you not be embarrassed? Because there's some staff that if they write email on your behalf, you'll be embarrassed. But when you read the email, you'll be like, oh my goodness, how did this happen? Or when they prepare documents, if you don't proofread it, it's a disaster. You need to hire people that you can give responsibility and they can fly. Right? Yes, you still need to review their work, but there will be times you get so busy you may not be able to review. But you need people who are dependable, people who can represent what you want your company to be. I feel I feel grateful. I can say it confidently anywhere that I have a very, very talented and capable team, and it's intentional. It's been a strategy, business strategy from day one to hire very sharp people. There was a young lady who joined us recently, the most recent member of our team. I mean, how did we get her? We needed to fill a space, and we said, you know what, we're looking for somebody who has this kind of talent. The person we found was based in Abuja. You know what? We spent money to bring her from Abuja to Lagos. Why? Because we're looking for special talent, and that helps you to grow your company. So I want you to encourage you to look for great people. And of course, when you look for great people, you have to, as a business leader, you have to then face the challenge of expanding the business so that you can keep paying those people and also giving them opportunities to grow your business. There's so much I can say about this. I may not be able to exhaust it in this seminar, but build a strong team. If you read James Collins' book, Good to Great, he advises that who you have in your team is very important. It's more important than where you want to go as a business. So it's who first, then what. And I want to tell you, if you treat your people well, they will treat your customers well. Right? Structure your business to be able to run without you. When I was doing business school at the Enterprise Development Center at the Pan Atlantic University, they said to us at one point, if you have a business that cannot run without you for 1 month, you don't have a business. So you're just running a job. Your business needs to be able to run without you. And it comes in very handy. I'll give a personal experience. Some years ago, I had a personal tragedy that I couldn't really be in the office effectively for almost 2 months. But the business was running well without me. In fact, at some point, my partner decided to even cut me off from emails, cut me off, so nobody should talk to me. They just leave me to deal with what I was dealing with, right? And the business was able to run effectively without me. So some of us want to build a business where we're a superstar and everybody's surrounding us, helping us to be a superstar. But that's not really the way you should think about it. Just think about people who can grow your business. I think it was John Maxwell say, it takes one man to win a championship. It takes a man to win a match, but it takes a team to win a championship. As talented as Lionel Messi and Ronaldo are, they cannot win what they win if they don't have great players supporting them. That's why they go to the biggest teams. Your star shines even brighter when you have great talented people surrounding you. Don't be intimidated by the talent of your team, but rather just think of it as complementary skills. I don't think of Podex. I don't get threatened by talented people. I'm attracted to talent. I love having talented people. And when you have talented people, don't stifle them. Give them opportunity to express themselves. In my office, what we say is it's not MD's idea that must stand. People have the liberty to challenge my ideas, because for us, the concept is let the best idea win. Right? We're currently doing a competition right now, and there's a team working on it. And yes, they'll bring the idea. I could challenge the idea. I could tell them I don't think this is right. I don't think that's right. But they are at liberty to debate it, and we understand that at the end of the day, we're looking for the best idea. It's not about whether it's the MD's idea or whether it is the cleaner's idea. It doesn't matter whose idea it is. The important thing is it the best idea. We don't have unnecessary what's it called? How they say it? We don't have unnecessary sentiments about who suggested something. If the idea is not good, we shut it down. It doesn't matter if it was me who suggested it. If the idea is good, we push it up. It doesn't matter if it is the youngest person that said it. So we have a culture where we allow ideas to go forward. And there's something else I'll say to you again, is about business culture. You have to be very deliberate about the culture you build. What gets rewarded in your office or in your business? How do you reward people for the quality of work they do? If you have a talented person, you have to reward excellence. And you also have to have the courage to
to tell people when things are not right. That way people understand what excellence means in your system, right? So those are the things that we're trying to build our business around. Sometime last year, we devoted some time. Our retreat last year was devoted to building what we call a business culture canvas, because we're trying to understand as a business, what are the things that are important to us? How do we do things as a team? How do we welcome new team members? How do we celebrate successes? How do we celebrate together? And those are the kind of dynamics that we build. So we have a team that's highly motivated. There are times when I'll close and go home, and some members of the team on their own will stay overnight finishing a job, because that's the culture. It's a culture of people taking responsibility and delivering, because they know they'll be rewarded for it. They know that the business will not be unfair to them. And even if they, for any reason, feel the business unfair, they can come in and discuss it, and they'll be heard. So we need to build strong teams if we really want to go somewhere, if we really want to go places. I dare say that many businesses are limited to the level of the founder, because the founder did not have the foresight to build a team. And you need to be thinking about the business beyond you. God forbid you could leave the business. Let's say it's for a good thing. You get a political appointment or something of that nature. Will the business still be there beyond you? These are things that you need to put in place. Structural systems. You need to empower people. All right. Recently in our business, we set up an account, and the management staff were made signatories of that account, so that whether I'm in town or not in town, if we need to do something, money can be released. So that's the kind of openness you need to be able to run in a system that is built on trust, and then create systems that can check those things. I may not be able to go, and I may not be able to exhaust this completely in this conversation, but I just thought I should leave that there. Okay, so if you want to go fast, you can go alone, but if you want to go far, you need to go as a team. If you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go as a team. But just like John Maxwell said, nothing great was done by an individual. Even Jesus needed 12 disciples. Yes, he preached for 3 years, but he needed to depend on his disciples to expand the world to all the corners of the earth. He didn't go by himself to all the corners of the earth. It's his disciples. It's you and I going to the corners of the earth. That's because the ministry was built on a team. People were empowered. People were empowered to be able to go far, to do, to spread the gospel. And that's how you need to think if you want to grow a business. Don't think that you have the energy. You only have 24 hours. You cannot do everything. Build a team of competent, talented people and reward them for their work. Reward them. Let people have a future if they come into your business. In our office right now, we have a document that if somebody starts today, he can see his progression. In 2 years, this is where he will be. In 3 years, that's where he will be. In 4 years, that's where he will be. In 5 years. So we don't necessarily wait for people to come to us and say they want to be promoted. There is already a guideline that stipulates how people get promoted. So it's no longer about whether I like your face or not. It's about what the guideline says. That's what structures should be about.
Did you see?
Can you all still hear me? All right.
Yes, sir.
All right,
Yes,
thank you.
We can hear you.
All right. Okay, I was still talking about people. People make it happen. So this picture here was when we had, I think it was 2019 or 2018. So we had a business hangout. Not everybody here are members of my team, but we grouped with like two or three other companies. So we had a hangout. So part of it, we played football. We just went somewhere and had fun. So as a team, you also need to try to make your members also know that work can also be fun. So we had fun, we bonded, built strong relationship. We're there for each other, right? We're friends, right? Our culture is that we're friends in the business. We're friendly with each other. We're interested in what's happening with each person, okay? Align the interest of your teams with the interest of your company. Align the interest of your team members with the interest of your company. You cannot just be expecting people to work for your business and grow your business if you are not interested in what's happening with them. So there needs to be an alignment. All right. You also need to be open to the ideas of other people. Be generous with sharing credit. If somebody's doing well, tell the person he's doing well. Right? Celebrate your team members. Celebrate their successes. Encourage them. That's how people get stirred up. That's how people, some people, it's not just salary they're looking for. They're looking for encouragement. Hey, Jerry, you've done well. That job was good. Of course, sometimes you will still criticize them if the job is not done well, but have the confidence to tell them when a job is good. Right? It boosts their morale. Be generous in sharing credits. Be careful in giving blame. Be careful in passing blame. Don't just isolate your team members, even though sometimes you may know that one particular person is at fault. But when you're as a group, try not to pass the blame. Let me give an example. There have been times when my office is on a project and maybe the person on the project, the boy or the girl, makes a mistake, makes a wrong judgment and makes a mistake. And the client comes as angry, Kelechi, how did your company do this? I don't go saying, it is Ada. Ada, I told her what to do. She did not do it. That girl is a stupid girl. That's not how you do things. You apologize. I'm sorry that our company did not do what we should have done. We'll fix it for you. Don't pass the blame to that individual. You can go behind closed doors and call the agent and say, you are the one who put us in this situation. Next time, this is what you need to do. But you need to be careful how you pass blame. It helps your people to have more, to build their confidence. You also need to have a culture that allows people to make mistakes, because people will make mistakes. Allow people to be comfortable to make mistakes, because mistakes they make would help them learn and grow and be better. Okay? So don't just, someone makes one mistake, you want to kill the person. It is normal that people will make mistakes, right? Just train them so that the mistakes will not be too costly. And also know the level of responsibility you give people so that you don't go and put somebody. It's like if I have a Rolls Royce car, I go and put a learner driver to be driving my Rolls Royce. No. If I have a learner driver, I let the learner driver drive one car that is that's not expensive. So if you bash the car, the cost is not too high. So that's how you treat responsibility, so that you put your most responsible, most dependent people on the highest value jobs. That way you're sure that mistakes are minimized, right? But people will still make mistakes. So you have to be accommodating of that. Then you need to build raving fans. You need to satisfy customers. Go out of your way to satisfy customers. A satisfied customer is the best business strategy of all. Referrals is one of the best ways to build a business. Referrals. I can tell you how many jobs we've gotten from referrals. In fact, there's just one job we completed last Christmas or early this year. And from that job alone, we've got maybe 3, 4, 5 phone calls. People talking to us, this person referred you. And one good thing about referrals is that when a job comes by referral, people don't negotiate as hard, because they already know your quality. And maybe the person who referred them has already given them an idea of your price. So the negotiation is easier, right? So treat your customers well. Try to satisfy your customers. I know you may not be able to satisfy everybody. I know it's not realistic that 100% of the time you satisfy people, but make a genuine effort. Let it be a priority to your business. Treat your customers very well. It is their money that pays you. Learn to be patient with them. And better still, again, look for feedback. Right? Don't be defending yourself all the time. A customer says, you did not sew my dress, so you start defending yourself. No, it's not like that. It's this. You're always complaining. You're getting defensive. Don't be so defensive. Listen. Sometimes there might genuinely be a mistake that the client is complaining about, and that mistake may help you to improve your system. Clients sometimes tell me, Kelechi, the way people did this, you can improve. I go back and I listen. I ask my staff and ask my team members, how could we have improved that situation? What could we have done differently? Sometimes we may come to a conclusion that the client is being unreasonable, but many other times we actually come to a conclusion that we can actually get better. We actually missed, with some things we didn't do right. All right. It can be annoying when a client gives you feedback, but you just have to learn that feedback is the breakfast of champions. If you want to be a champion, you have to be willing to accept feedback, because when you go and improve yourself, next time you come out better. If you improve, you take feedback, you come out better. You come out better and you keep getting better and better. So you have to be a good listener. Listen to your staff, they'll give you feedback. Listen to your clients, they'll give you feedback. Sometimes just listen to observers. Sometimes we're doing a project in the office and we would even call the driver and say, look at this thing, what do you think? And he'll say, this one is finer than this one. And we take it seriously because we know that our job will be observed by a variety of people. Don't be that kind of person who's always defending himself. Nobody can criticize you. Nobody can tell you what you did is not fine without you quarreling with the person. No, you don't grow that way. You grow through feedback. Feedback is the breakfast of champions. Then I want to say another point is sell your markets. Sell your markets. What I mean is that you have to learn to be a salesperson as a business. You have to know how to talk about your business. Don't shy from talking about your business. Look for opportunities to tell people what you do. Look for opportunities to offer people your services or your goods. Learn to sell your market. I'll tell you a story. That's why I put this lady with mango on her head. When I was in school, they told us a story. I think it was my first year in school. One of our lecturers told us that there was a girl, there was somebody, I don't think it's a true story, but it illustrates a point. There was a woman who wanted to send out, or a person who wanted to send out 2 girls to go and sell mangoes. The mangoes were the same quality. They were both very good mangoes, okay? In fact, it may even be that the first person had better mangoes. So the first person went out with very nice mangoes on her head, and she just walked around quietly, walked around the streets quietly. So 1 or 2 people would say, okay, bring the mango, bring the mango, bring the mango. So they bought a few, but she came back with half of the mangoes unsold. The second person stepped out before she even went far. Said, go no mango. She stepped again. Go no mango. People say, hey, mango, bia. Mango person, come. Within a short distance, she sold the mango out. She came back, mango sold. What was the difference between the first person and the second person? The second person, both of them had good products, but one person did something more. She announced her product. She announced it. How will I know what you're selling if you don't tell me? How would I know what you're selling if you don't put it up? You need to network. You need to meet people. You cannot afford to be unfriendly as a business person. People should know what you do. Whether in church, in school, in your whether it's your town union association, whether it's your neighborhood, participate, be visible. Let people know what you're doing. By the way, I'm so person, I'm a fitness coach. People know, oh, that fitness coach lives on that street. You know, I can tell you on the street I live, people know I'm an architect. Why? Because I told them. Any small thing, I'll use architecture as an example. Right? When there's architecture thing going, I'll come and volunteer and give my advice. And before you know what, my neighbors know I'm an architect. My church members know I'm an architect. My family members know I'm an architect. My secondary school old students association, I participate and they know I'm an architect. You cannot be saying, I don't want to join their WhatsApp group. They are talking too much. They are disturbing me too much. And my battery is dying. Such flimsy excuses. I participate on my class WhatsApp groups. Not all of them that agree with me. We don't share the same values. Some of them will be posting rubbish pictures. Some of them will be talking about football. Some of them will be posting Biafra things, all sorts of things, right? You know, the one you don't like, you jump and pass, but stay on the group. Voice your opinion, share your knowledge, share your information. Sooner or later, somebody will call you. On my class WhatsApp group, I've gotten a business from one of my classmates who's in Sierra Leone. We've done 2 or 3 businesses for him and his friends in Sierra Leone through class WhatsApp group. Me and that guy were not good friends in school. We're not close friends. For my secondary school association, I've gotten business. For members of church, I've gotten business. From Fekites, I've gotten business. From my neighbors, I've gotten business. You don't know where you get the business, just be friends. From family members, I've got. So let people know what you do. Anywhere you go, if it is mango you're selling, say go no mango. If it is clothes you're doing, tell people I do clothes. And please, when they give you an opportunity, do a good job. Don't go and do nonsense, because that will just mess you up. That will just shut you down. One thing that is bad is when people meet you as a familiar face and you just deliver poor quality. In fact, it's better they didn't even know about you. Your network is your net worth. That's what some people say. Who do you know? There was an article out that was forwarded to me recently. And that article said, there are some doors. I think it was my wife who forwarded the article to me. There are some opportunities that can only be open to you from inside. Somebody inside will tell you that this opportunity is available, you come. How do those people inside know? They know what you do and they're your friends. That's why they'll call you. So you need to have friends. You need to take friendships, connections, relationships. You have to take it serious. As a business, let me tell you something. Let me tell you a real life experience. Just about 2 weeks ago, I was because in my office we run an ethical business. We don't give bribes as a business. That's why it's so good for you to think about. When I said I'm a Christian, I'm also a business person. We don't give bribes. If a job will require a bribe, we will not take the job. So there was a big job we're chasing, and he started looking as if we're not sure. Maybe this might be asking for something. So I was just worried. Am I going to lose this job? Because I know that if that's what they want, I won't give it. So I called one of my mentors and asked him, what should I do? Because I know he's also somebody who believes in ethics. He told me, look, because you would not do what most people are doing, you need to invest in relationships. You need to spend time in relationships, get close to these people, be friendly with them, talk with them. Tell them your stand, but still be friendly. Tell them your stand, but still be friendly. And that was what I did. And guess what? We did not lose the business. Even though I told them clearly that there are some things I will not do, that this is who I am, and this is how I've always. And the good thing is this, consistency is important, because this person I was talking to had already heard about me. She had already talked to someone who knows me close, and the person had already hinted her the kind of person I am. So you need to be consistent. If you're a person of integrity, be consistent. Anybody who knows me for the past 25 years knows that integrity in business is important to me. Anybody who knows me knows this. And that's how I've been for this past time. So be consistent, but still invest in relationships, because there are some doors that will only be open to you from inside. Last year, we did a job for your state government. How did we do that job? We had a client who was appointed a member of the executive council of the state. I'm not a Yoruba person, but we did a job in Oyo, and we did not give anybody a bribe. We didn't. I can tell you confidently, we did not. And we got paid. That's the only reason why we could do that job, is because somebody inside knew us and invited us. And that person who invited us, because the person is a top level person in government, the person ensured that nobody could harass us or make undue demands from us. But I can tell you that door was only opened because of the relationship, right? So value relationships. Now, online presence and digital marketing is also essential depending on the business you do. Visibility online is important. You may not get new customers online, but you may find out sometimes somebody who you're talking to will go online to look to check you out and see that what you're telling him is consistent with what they can see. I've been posting for the past few years. People check you out online. So online presence is important. Then I think I'll be rounding up by talking about integrity. As a Christian, this is one quality that must differentiate you as a Christian. You need to be somebody who is known for doing the right thing. Doing the right thing, integrity is doing the right thing even when nobody is watching you. There was a job we're trying to do. We're trying to get registered to work for Union Bank. There was somebody who had invited us in. He was a very senior person in the bank. Initially, we did not meet the requirements for registration. So the first time we couldn't get registered. Second time around, we came back again to try. And then as they were considering our case, this senior man told them that, you see, I know Kelechi, they were involved in my house. I can vouch for them. I can vouch for them. And that's how we got the job, because people could vouch for us. People can only vouch for you based on your track record. When people know you as a person who has been a person of integrity, they can vouch for you. I have a friend who's in the US right now. He sent us a lot of money, millions, for a project we're doing for him. And it is all based on integrity of how he knew me before. Okay, how he knew me before is what makes him trust me enough to transfer money without collateral, he would even sign, documents per se. We sent him a quote and all that. But integrity is your most valuable asset in business. Integrity is your most valuable asset in business. Being somebody who stands by your word. You say yes, and your yes is your yes. The people who work for us, as in our contractors, know that Podex will not owe you. If we owe you, we'll pay you. We won't be dodging and refuse to pay what we owe. We will pay. That's integrity. People know that if you're looking for somebody who will not cheat, you can talk to these people. There's one lady who was trying to link me to a business. She told the people, look, if you're looking for integrity, I can tell you these are people of integrity. That gives me joy. Honestly, it gives me joy that people can call us people of integrity. But I can tell you integrity is not cheap. Integrity is not cheap. Some years ago, somebody introduced me to one lady who was the daughter of the chief of air staff. She said she had some jobs for us to do. By the time I was talking with her, I realized that the job was not going to be very straightforward, at least by my standards. The way she wanted to do the job, I wasn't happy with. I wasn't comfortable. I lost my peace. At a point, I called her and said, I'm sorry, ma. I didn't say Masha. I just said, I'm sorry. I can't do this job. I'm sorry. Maybe not in this example, but I told her we couldn't do it. And we walked away. We walked away from the job. At that time, if the job had pulled through, maybe it would have been our biggest job, but we walked away. Shortly after was when we got the job to do branches for Union Bank as consultants. Integrity is not cheap. When we're discussing with Oyo State government, one of the government officials approached me once. I was trying to say, okay, Kelechi, since you're the favored one, why don't you bring other quotations so that this. I told him, you know what, there's some things I can't do, right? I can't do this thing. So they got to know sooner or later that this is who these people are. It is not cheap, or it will cost you opportunity sometimes, but it will also pay you, because when people know you're a person of integrity, it also affects the way they relate to you in business. Integrity is not just about money. It's also about time. It's also about quality. It's also about the way you deal with people financially. Be a person of integrity. It will differentiate you if you're truly a Christian. Be that person that if they give you money, they know your money, their money will not be misappropriated. You're that person that if you're there, contractors cannot bribe you. People cannot bribe you to tell what to say that black is white or white is black. Be a person of integrity. We're in need of people of integrity in the business place. We're in need of people of integrity in positions of authority. If you're going to be in business as a Christian, be a person of integrity. So I'll end on that note. I hope what I've shared has been helpful, and I don't know how much more time we can take, Ozioma. Maybe we can take a few questions and call it a day. Thank you very much.
Wow, thank you so much. We still have about 30 minutes, it's all to do 2 hours. So, questions, if you want to ask questions. So, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, so we still have about 30 minutes to run up.
Okay, but I'm done with my presentation, so I'll take the rest as questions. If anybody has questions, I can take questions, and maybe I can throw more lights.
If you have any question, just raise your hand, and then we'll let you talk. Then you mute. If you have any questions, I know we have a lot. It's been a good time. Okay, beyond, you can unmute and ask your question. Beyond, please unmute.
Good evening, sir.
Beyond, please increase the volume.
Okay. Can you hear me now?
Faintly.
Okay, let me type. I think it's from my phone.
Or you can write it on the chat. You will read an answer.
Yeah, maybe you can, yes, put it in the chat. I know somebody beyond said I have a question.
Yes. But come here, well, so let her write it on the chat.
And let me write.
Please go ahead with the question.
Okay, sir.
Or can we do it this way? Maybe if you have a question, you raise your hand, and then we can call you. I guess that might just help. If you indicate, then I can call the person, and you can either speak up or you type your question. Beyond, do you want to take your question?
Yes, I'm typing.
You're typing it, okay. Okay, so while she's typing, does anybody else have a question? Yeah, by the way, I invited some people to join this group, so let me just give a shout out to some. I saw my cousin PC Bekwe at some point. Some of my team members, Lucas Wankokwe, Wina Deji Folitile, are here. My brother Chima Okore, that's Well Autos, is also here. Thank you for joining. Thank you for your support. Appreciate it. All right, so let's take questions. Okay, I think Emmanuel Onyema has his hand up.
Okay. Emmanuel Onyema.
All right, sir. Good evening, sir.
Unmute and ask.
Good evening, Emmanuel.
All right, sir. Good evening, sir.
Good evening.
Sir, okay. Just a little question. Yes, sir.
Go ahead.
Just a little question about the entrepreneurship class I have today. So are you hearing me, sir?
I can hear you loud and clear.
All right, sir. Sir, please, I have a little question. So does the location matter in entrepreneurship? I don't know. You made emphasis of traveling to Abuja, then looking for a bigger firm, and then you went to Lagos and something like that. I'm just asking, does the location matter in entrepreneurship? Yes, sir. Just this one, then the next later.
Go ahead and ask both questions. I'll take them together.
Okay. Start of a
Emmanuel,
bigger or a smaller? What, sir?
go ahead. Sorry, I think you are breaking briefly. So go ahead with second question.
Hello, sir.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Sir. All right, sir. Okay, so to start up a firm or something like that, maybe a small business, a small scale business. How do we raise funds? You know, like me now, I've not really worked before in my life. My parents. So will I say, how do I raise funds to start up things that will help myself and people too, sir? That's it, sir.
All right, thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
I'll come to your question. Thank you very much, Emmanuel. You can unmute now. You can unmute your mic now.
Thank you, sir.
Okay. Beyond, I'm still looking for. Ifeanyi Wako, I see you, Pastor Ifeanyi. Thanks for your comments. Beyond, I thought you were typing your question.
Yeah,
did you type it? I can't see that. I can't see it. You're still typing.
Yeah,
okay.
I think she's still typing, sir.
Okay, so let me respond to Emmanuel's question quickly. It's two questions. The first question was, does location matter? Yes, location matters. Location matters, but there are variables. There are different issues that we concern. I'll ask there are a few questions that location would help you answer. Location. There are many ways you answer the location question. First of all, you're from your reference. I think you are inferring. You are referring to an extent to my training, my years of training, and you are also referring to business, the time of going to business. So at the time of training, location matters. And you should ask yourself, I think the first thing is, so where do you want to be in 10 years? Where do you want to be in 15 years? Right? When you ask yourself that question, the next question will be, so the place where I want to be, what do I need to get there? So let me give an example. When I was finishing youth service, we were writing on our yearbook for our graduate, our passing out set. What do you want to be? And what I wrote there was, I want to be a world-class architect. So I wanted to be a world-class architect. So I said to myself, to be a world-class architect, what do I need? And I knew I needed experience. I needed the best experience. And for some other reasons, I had a belief that God wanted me to be in Nigeria, right? I had that conviction. And so because of that, I was like, going abroad was not a consideration. So I was like, within Nigeria, where can I get the best training? So I went looking for the best training, and it was clear that the best training would be in the towns that have the most complex and the most developed building industry. Okay, and so that was going to be Lagos, Abuja, or Port Harcourt. So I knew I needed to be in one of those three places. So my first choice was I went to Abuja because I had family in Abuja. But sooner or later, I realized that of the three, Lagos was number one. So by the time I realized this, even though I didn't like Lagos at that time, I relocated to Lagos because Lagos was the place that was going to give me the training I needed. Okay, so for different people, this question will be answered differently. Where do you want to be? Where do you need to get what you need, right? And it is that will help you to find your location for training. But there are also some other questions you may want to ask yourself. By the time you're ready to start business, there are other questions you may want to ask yourself.
Questions like, where do I have a competitive advantage? It may be that your competitive advantage is more in Owerri than it is in Lagos. It may be that the opportunities are being presented maybe by virtue of your special skill or by virtue of the kind of product you're selling. Your opportunities are in Owerri, or by virtue of your contacts. Where your contacts are might influence where you want to go to, or where there's demand for your product or service. Okay, so if for instance, if you're saying you want to sell products for fish farmers or people who are into fishing, and you want to go and be in Borno, it won't make sense now because maybe they don't have much water there. Okay, you might to be close to where the water is. So there are many factors that would affect your location. But yes, location matters. You need to think about where your strategic advantage would be and base your location on that. I hope it helps your question. The next question was, how do you raise funds?
Yes, sir.
Well,
Thank you.
For a young entrepreneur, there's something they call the 3Fs. The 3Fs, which is where you normally would raise funds. And they're called friends, family, and fools. Friends, family, and fools. Those are the first people who you can get money from. Because as a young entrepreneur, it's difficult to get finance from corporate organizations because you don't have a track record. Financial organizations are looking for who has a track record because they're taking risks. They want to be sure that you have a track record. But with friends may do it on emotional grounds. Okay, you're my friend, let me help you. Or you're my son, let me help you. Or my cousin, or you're my auntie, or my uncle, you're my nephew, let me help you. So friends and family are usually the first place to try and get support for somebody who's starting. And then the third one they just say fools because not necessarily because they're actually foolish, but fools are just people who will be foolish enough to believe in your dream. People who will just be willing to, not necessarily they're fools, but people who will just have a foolish faith in your dreams. Those are the people who you could also give a try. So if you're starting a business, that's why sometimes you start small. You start with family. Many of us, the first opportunity we had were family. I can tell you, my first opportunities as an architect were from family. There's one of my aunties that was building a house, and my dad was the one helping her supervise it. So my dad told her I'm an architect and I did a design for her. What I was paid was not much, but it gave me an opportunity to do a project I could point and say I did that one. I also had some in-laws, some friends, family who gave me my first opportunities. And by the time I did those ones well, other people could now see what I could do. And that's how other people they're calling me. And it starts growing. So most entrepreneurs will need to start with family. And please, when you're providing service or product for family, don't say because it's family, you do it anyhow. Do it well, because that's your first opportunity to showcase what you can do. Okay? Or if a family member invests in you, that's the opportunity to show that you can be trustworthy managing funds. Manage it well, right? Okay, so I hope that helps you, Emmanuel. All right,
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you so much.
I can see Beyond's question here now. She says, my question is, I run a clean and errand brand that makes us to hire ad hoc staff most times. What do you do in a situation you've got a team member that's good in what he does, but does not understand the culture of time management and gets angry easily whenever you correct him? All right. Okay. Let me tell you something beyond. In hiring, there are two things that are important. One is talent. The other one is character. Look for talent and character, not talent alone. Because people who have talent without character can also run your organization down just the same way that people with character and no talent would do. Character without talent is not good. Talent without character is not good either. You need talent and character to have the complete employee or staff, or whether contract or permanent. You need both. All right. Many of us will know some people who are very good at what they do, but unreliable. They are very good at what they do, but their stories don't add up. They're always giving excuses, always lying, always cheating. And after a while, you stop caring about how good they are because you just simply need somebody who's reliable. So in that business, try to look for people who are reliable and also good, who have good character and also good. That is sustainable. Okay. So if somebody's character is very flawed, if somebody's character is really bad, then it's as good as the person is not good at what he does. because that character is going to let you down. You don't want someone who cannot control his temper, because sooner or later he's going to shout at your customer. He's going to cause trouble, he's going to make trouble for your business, right? There's some people who may be very talented, but they're always making trouble. You don't need those people. They're not good for your culture. There's some people who are toxic. The entire organization, they start quarreling with everybody. You need to get rid of those people, no matter how talented they are. They start causing quarrels, start fighting every day, shouting, quarreling. Everybody, people are now quarreling, people are now gossiping. Everybody, everywhere is just tense because of them. You need to get rid of them. An entrepreneur needs to have the confidence to get rid of people who don't help the business. That's something you need to learn as an entrepreneur. It's not easy. I can tell you, I started learning the hard way, but you have to have the confidence to get rid of people who don't help your business if you want your business to grow. Some businesses are tied down because people have put their brother, their sister, their friend, their church member, people who have bad character in positions, and they don't know what to do with those people. And those people are hurting the business. That's not good for business. You need to decide. You need to have the courage to put the right people in the right holes, the right round pegs and round holes, square pegs and square holes. You need to have the confidence to do that. And the earlier you do it, the better. I hope this helps you beyond.
She asked like 3 questions.
Oh, sorry. Okay, let me find the other ones.
Second is
okay. Let me see the other one. Okay, just a minute. Okay. Secondly, as a young entrepreneur, how do you trace your growth in business via your business accounting? Good. Very, very good question. I'll just tell you how I'll just share my own story, okay? When we first started, we couldn't afford to employ an accountant. So what we did then was that my partner was the one keeping the records, but then she wasn't extremely good at it either. But the first step was that the first step is to separate your accounts. Like I said, open a separate account. Let your business money enter the business account. Let your private money enter private account. The first step is let anybody who is paying you should pay to the company account. Try to avoid collecting cash. If you do collect cash, go and pay it into the account. That way you establish a record. The account, in fact, your bank statement alone would already give you a record of inflow and outflow. That's your first place to start. And then, as you can afford it, maybe you can get a part-time accountant, maybe someone who does accounting, who can just come from time to time, maybe once a month, and just look through your books and help you to arrange your books. Okay, then as your business grows, you can then make that part-time accountant once a week and eventually maybe full-time. Okay, but at least make sure accounting records are kept. It is important if you want to go far in business. If you want to go far, you need to have accounting records. Okay. All right. She says, finally, what is your philosophy about business and what's your advice to every young entrepreneur out there? I think this question is very broad. I think I've spent the entire presentation today giving advice to business, to young entrepreneurs, right? So I can't say this is my one advice. That's what the whole presentation has been about, advice to young entrepreneurs. So my philosophy about business, I would say whatsoever your hand finds to do with all your heart as unto God and not unto man. My philosophy is to be, if this is what you're doing, then do it well. Give yourself to excellence, to doing what you can as well as you can. Whatever your hand finds to do it with all your heart as unto God and not unto man. I think of my business as ministry, honestly. I think of it as if it's a service to God. Right? That I need to be excellent. I need to care for the staff. I need to grow people. I need to help people to build their careers. I need to help people to develop themselves. I need to deliver excellent quality of work. Oh, I think Kirian says he has a question.
Yes.
Kirian,
please unmute and
So can you hear me, sir?
Yes, I can.
Can you hear me, sir? Okay, sir. Okay, I heard everything you said. Okay, my question goes to this in this regard. Okay, I run cleaning services and fumigation services too. So, so far we've the company is gradually improving and growing. But at the point we had an issue, and it's majorly this year. At the point where we want to take further steps. In the sense, the challenge you usually had now is because of is trying to balance, like you stated before. You stated about sometimes you can not make much profit just because you want to. The person wants the company. We want the company to have name and base. So usually, in catering for my staffs, the people that work with me, balancing the charges you place to your clients, and and also trying to make it negotiable so that you don't overcharge them, and also you don't try to pursue them, chase them away with your prices, and also maintain proper payment and taking care of your staffs, is usually the problem you're having this period. We've witnessed a lot of clients we having issues with a lot of clients, or maybe put them pulling back because of the prices. And when they ask me, I tell them about taking care of my staff. So at this point now is actually a serious problem for the company because of the price range and taking care of the staff, which is also of necessity. We try to cover up this particular issue.
All right. Thank you very much, Killian. I think your question has to do with pricing. How do you, pricing?
Yes, sir.
But there's something else I was able to get out from your question, which I would also talk about. So proper pricing is for you to, have establish your right price. You need to know your costs. You need to know your costs. Okay, you need to know your costs, and your cost would be like the cost of your staff, the cost of your equipment, transportation, cost of your raw materials, whether it's chemicals or whatever you use for your cleaning business. Once you know your cost, then you now try to add your profit on top, right? So you always need to know have an idea what your cost is. If you take a job that is below your cost, then you're obviously running a loss. All right. So your aim should usually be to take a job that pays you above your cost. And don't be afraid to walk away if a job is not going to pay you above your costs. Don't be afraid to walk away. Sometimes you have to walk away from jobs. Because one thing you also don't want, it's good to get a job, but it's also terrible when you get a job that runs you at a loss. Okay. There are some jobs you may take even though you run a loss, but you have to be calculated. That's why you have to be strategic. There's some jobs you may take, and the reason you're running a loss today is because you know that this job is going to position you for another job that is bigger. If that's the case, then it may be okay to do it, but just make sure it's a calculated thing. So that way you're not counting it as a loss, you're counting it as an investment in the business. Some people do pro bono work, and pro bono work is that way. Okay, let's say, let me give an example of a pro bono job. Somebody's a member of a church, and the church says they want to design a building, and the person says, okay, I'm an architect, I will do it for the church free. What you say you will do free is not actually free. It's actually at a cost, just that you're not transferring the cost to the church. Okay, it's at a cost because you probably will run your generator doing the job. You probably will hire staff. If you have staff, you're paying their salaries. If you have an office, you're paying your rent. If you have a car, you're running the car. All those costs are running. So there are costs to you, but you're not transferring it. And the reason may be because of your service to God. So that is like a spiritual gain. But there are some other situations. Maybe it's not, let me not use church. Let me now use maybe a town union. You say you want to do a town union building free because you know that town has many well-known people, and those people may now call you to do the same service. So you offer your services free. Maybe your cleaning services, okay, I'll clean the town hall free on so ceremony, so that people can see what I can do and they can call me. So that's like an investment in your business, right? So it's a calculated risk, but you always have to plan it out so that you know how much you're willing to spend investing in the business. So all of these things are things you need to be, constantly weighing. So you always want to weigh. There's something they call cost-benefit analysis. So when you're about to do a job, you look at the cost and you look at the benefit, and you want to check, does the benefit outweigh the cost? If it does, then you can do the business. If it doesn't, then that's a bad business to do. So the benefit may be financial, that job is paying you and you're getting a good profit,
or the benefit that maybe that job is positioning you to do a bigger job that would eventually pay your costs. Or it may be that the benefit is that that job is training, it's helping you to learn the skills that you will need to use and do a bigger job. Because sometimes you have to practice, all right? You may need to do free work to learn the skill that you can now use to do the one that they'll pay you for. So you have to always check the cost and benefits analysis before you do a job. And that's how you establish your pricing. Then let me come to the second thing, because I know you said the challenge in business today is that when you tell people the costs, they're not willing to pay. They say it's expensive. So that means you also need to know your target markets. For every product you're selling, you need to know, or every product or service you're selling, you need to know your target market. Who is your target market is the question. How do you identify them? I'll tell you. Your target market is the people who want what you're offering and who can afford to pay for it. That's your target market. People who want what you're offering, who can say either want or need what you're offering and can afford to pay at a price that will give you a profit. It's not everybody that's your target market. It may very well be that you have been trying to sell your product in the wrong market. Okay, there are some people who just can't, once you've checked your cost, some people cannot pay for it. So always try to identify, where can I find the people who can pay for what I'm trying to do? I'll give you a personal example. As I started practicing as an architect, I started realizing that there are different kinds of buildings in Nigeria. There are different types. There's some people who are in Lagos. For those who are familiar with Lagos, there are some people who are building in Banana Island. Banana Island, a plot of land can sell for up to 500 million. There are people who are building in VI, in Banana Island, Lekki Phase 1. These are all expensive places. There are also people who are building in Abulegba, where land is very, very cheap. Okay, and cost of building is very cheap. So you see that the stress I will use to design for Banana Island client is the same stress I will use to design for a Abulegba client. But Banana Island client will pay me 5 million without arguing. Abulegba, if I tell him 500,000, we'll still be arguing. On top of the 500, still be asking for discounts. But it's still going to take me the same stress to do both jobs. So guess what? I'm better off doing one Banana Island client than doing 10 Abulegba clients. So the question will then be, how do I get myself to be getting Banana Island clients? That is where strategic marketing comes to play. The question I will now ask myself is, where can I meet these people? Where can I meet these people? Where do these people go to? Where can I meet them? As you start asking questions, you will know where to meet them. It may be that there are some kind of public functions they go to. It may be that there are some places they go for holiday. It may be there's some kind of clubs they attend. It may be there's some kind of meetings that they attend. Maybe they attend meeting Omona. That may be where they are. It may be that their children go to a particular school. It may be that they live in a particular area of town. Okay, you have to ask yourself these questions. And when you identify these things, you have to try and put yourself in the place where they can see you. That's why some people send their children to some schools. That's why some people join meeting Omonna. That's why some people join some social organizations. That's why some people attend some social functions. They'll hear that Iwanyanwo's daughter is getting married and they'll go. They're not going there because they know Iwanyanwo knows them, but because that may be where they will meet some people. That's why some people join some organizations. That's why some people follow some people. You know, you might see a particular man who has connection, follow him around, because through him, you can meet people like him. So as a business person, you need to know where you will find the people who can pay, who need your product or service and can pay for it. So I'll give you my own example. Some years ago, I met one client who is quite wealthy. He owns an oil servicing company. And at that time, he was our best paying client. He paid us almost double what other people were paying. He was our best paying. And I said, I need more of this type of people. So I said, how do I meet this man? How do I meet more people like him? So I realized this man, because he's in oil and gas, he's a member of an organization called Petroleum Technology Association of Nigeria. And they are fellow big boys in oil and gas in that association. So as I was making inquiries, I heard that they had a conference that they go to, oil technology conference. I went to the conference. I'm not a member of the association. I'm not even in oil and gas, but I went there and I started mingling around trying to meet people. And I met a number of them, shared my business card, met many of them, took phone numbers. They're following up with phone calls. From there, one of them We started exchanging phone calls. He became like a friend. Then he told me to do something for him in his house. We did it. He said we should do something for him in his church. We did it. Then sooner or later, that association needed to build their headquarters. And he shortlisted us to participate in the competition. Because we're committed to excellence, we won the competition against top firms in Nigeria. We won the competition. And they gave us the job. The job paid us till date. That's our biggest paying job. Okay? We won the job. And as we won the job, members of that association started giving us projects. Okay? Today, we're doing one project in Eco Atlantic from that association. One of that guy is doing a project in Port Harcourt, a very big boy. He's doing a project in Port Harcourt where he's engaged us to do his work. So we started penetrating that association, one, two, like that. It all started from attending a conference. And it started from me recognizing that that association has a collection of people that I need to know. So that's how you need to be strategic. Who are the people that need my product? Who are the people that can pay for it? Where are they? How do I get into the space where they will notice me? And when you get into that space, you now have to use your networking skills to get them to know you and like you and know what you do and give you a chance. When they give you that chance, do it well. When you do it well, you can consolidate on that place. That's how it works. So I hope that helps you, Kirian.
There's a question on the chat box.
Okay, I saw a question from Chisom Blessing.
Yes.
Is it wise to spend above the cost price of a product to just satisfy a client? Well, it may be wise, it may be unwise. Again, it depends on the cost-benefit ratio, cost-benefit analysis. Sometimes that particular client may be the key to a bigger job. And because of the bigger job you're chasing, you might suffer loss on this small job to get the bigger one. That is wise. But if that is not the case, and you're just, because the client has stressed you too much, you just say, okay, I'll take a loss, that is unwise. So it may be wise or unwise depending on the context. So you always have to say, what is the benefit? When you know the benefit and the benefit is worth it, then you can take the cost. But you must always ask yourself, what is the cost benefit analysis? Recently, somebody invited us to participate in a competition. And normally when people invite you to participate in a competition, they offer an honorarium, which means that they will pay us something, a token. If at all the job, they don't accept our work, they at least pay us a token to cover our costs. So those guys were not offering an honorarium, and I was going to turn the job down. I was like, what is this? They should know we're busy. I mean, we're no longer beginners. Why should we be doing that kind of job? I was saying. They're one of my guys on my team, one of the managers in my office said, he told me, look, that location is a good location. No? We need to try and penetrate that location. Because if we can get that job, then suddenly people start hearing about us in that location, and we can attract more of that type of job. By the time he analyzed, I saw wisdom, and I agreed. And I accepted that we should commit ourselves to doing that job. They're not paying us on honorarium. We're spending money doing the job. And I say we're spending money because staff, 3 people on our team have been working on that job for almost 1 week or 2 weeks now. And of course, those people will get their salary, which means that that's a cost to us. They've been working on it for almost 2 weeks. So that's a cost to our company. But I'm analyzing the potential benefit, and I'm willing to take the risk because the benefit far outweighs the cost. So these are all calculated things that a business entrepreneur will be making from time to time. Like I said, it is risk that makes entrepreneur an entrepreneur. If you're not willing to take risk, you're not an entrepreneur. But your risk should be calculated when you look at the benefits and the costs, and you make a decision on which risks you will take. You don't take every risk, but you take calculated risks. So it may be wise to spend above the cost price if there is a benefit that will outweigh that cost price many times over. Then yes, it's good. But if that customer is just one customer who does not like to give any other job, is just put you under pressure, then you have to be careful and say no. You have to have the courage to say no. I won't take it. That was Director Chisom Blessing. Are there more questions? Hello?
Hello?
Can you guys hear me?
Yes, we can.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
So Ozioma,
Yes, we can.
it's almost 8 o'clock. I hope we can run up in the next 5 minutes, please. But maybe I can take one more question. I can take one more question, but if there's no other question, then we can call it a day. All right. Ozioma, it appears there's no more question.
I'm trying to go to on the chat. I can't find him. Okay, sir. Thank you, sir. Really.
Ozioma, if you're talking, I cannot hear you.
Can you hear me, sir?
I can hear you, yes. If you speak very loudly, I'll hear you.
Okay. Okay. I said I tried going through the chats to see if there's any question you speak, but I can't see any. So I guess that's all. That's all. Thank you so much, sir. Such a great moment with you. Hello, sir.
Okay. What do you say?
I said thank you so much, sir. What a great moment with you.
Thank you very much. Can I make a few closing remarks?
Before then, sir, let me say something. Please also, if you wish to connect with me,
I didn't hear you.
you can check him up on LinkedIn. So please, maybe drop your handles for someone that may like to.
Okay. Or you can check me on Instagram. I go by Kelechi Onyike. This is Kelechi Onyike.
Maybe type it or something.
You can follow me on Instagram, Kelechi Onyike. I'm also on Facebook, even though I'm not very active on Facebook. I think Instagram is actually easier to reach me. I check Instagram more frequently. I don't check Facebook, but if you want to check me on Facebook, it's just my name, Kelechi Onyike, on Facebook. I'm not on Twitter. I mean, not because it was banned, but I haven't been on Twitter. You can also reach me by email. I'll give you my email address. And let me give you my personal email address rather than my official email. That's my email address. I'll leave my phone number, but before I do that, let me just say that I can be really busy, so I can't guarantee you that I'll be able to take your call at every moment. But you can send me a WhatsApp message. I will try to respond to you. Okay, I'll try as much as I can. But if I don't respond, please just understand that it's because I'm quite busy. But I will endeavor to reach out to people. So I'll leave my number. All right, so that's my number there. Yeah, I'm on LinkedIn. What's my LinkedIn handle? I think if you just use my name to search for me on LinkedIn, you'll see. I'm on LinkedIn by my name, Kelechi Onyike. You'll see me on LinkedIn. That's a response to Okechukwu Emmanuel's question. Yes, I'm on LinkedIn, but I'm also not very active on LinkedIn. I'm trying to get more active, actually. So yeah, I guess in the next few months, you'll see a bit more traction because somebody in my office will be helping me with my LinkedIn handle. So yes, I'll be getting a bit more active on LinkedIn, but my most used social media handle currently is Instagram. So if you follow me on Instagram, you probably see me make posts from time to time. Sometimes it's posts about work, sometimes it's posts about just private life and so on. But you can also follow Podex Associates. You can also follow at my office You can also follow at Podex Associates on Instagram and on Facebook. So I hope that's helpful, Ozioma.
Yes, sir. You can go with the remark you wanted to make.
I know a few remarks, a few comments have been made about people appreciating the talk. But let me also say that I'm also very grateful for the opportunity. Ozioma, thank you very much for the opportunity. I honestly enjoy having an opportunity to share my experience with people, because I know that there are many entrepreneurs who are out there working very hard, but just because they don't have strategic information, they're not able to grow exponentially. They are kind of struggling because there are some keys that they don't have. I truly consider it a privilege and an honor to share these things. And I'm really grateful to have the opportunity to have done this. I'm really happy. I'm really happy that I could do this. And thank you so much for your feedback. Thank you for your questions, because that has helped me to be able to say more things. Your questions have helped me to bring out more things that I can share. So yeah, I've enjoyed it thoroughly. Then I also want to say thank you. I extended an invitation on my own to a few members of my team, members of church, and I see that some of them joined. So to those of them who are still on the group, family members and so on, I'm very grateful. I can see some of them are still here, and I appreciate their show of support. Right, that's appreciated. Lucas, Wina, I still see you guys. Thanks a lot.
You're welcome, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Victory, good to see you too. How are you doing?
You're welcome, sir.
I'm fine, thank you, sir. Thank you so much, sir.
It was a pleasure.
Okay, thank you, sir.
All right then. All right, everybody. So catch you some other time. Pacifying, thank you very much. I know you were a silent listener, but I'm glad you were here. Thank you. All right, everybody. Till some other time.
Okay, thank you, sir.
And then Ozioma, I will be willing to join again. I will be willing to do this again on your platform at some point if you invite me again. Okay.
Sure, sir.
Just like you did this time, just give me good notice so I can confirm to you my schedule.
Okay, sir. Thank you so much. Really appreciate it. Okay, thank you to everyone that joined. I can see you virtual one.
Thank you, my man, Tim Okore. I can see you too.
Well, all those.
Yeah, well, all those.
Thank you, Princess Anna.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much, sir.
Oh, Taiwo, Taiwo, you were here?
Yes.
Wow,
Yes.
Thank you.
Well done, sir.
Good.
Thanks, I appreciate that.
Wonderful session, sir.
Oh, thank you.
So till the next time we have Entrepreneurs Corner, just watch out for the pages for the you may have to send the question.
Oh, I see Jeremiah there too. Thanks, Jeremiah.
Kenneth Soto, you raise your hand. Is it preparation? Please send it to
Oh, Victory. How people are showing up here quietly? Why are people hiding since? I see Victory come to.
Yes, the person. Kenneth Soto, you raise your hand. Just chatting privately and then send your questions. Okay, not a question. So we draw the curtain here. Next time in Entrepreneurs Corner, be the best in what you do. I love you all.
Thank you, Ozioma. God bless you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Ozioma.
Thank you.
Yeah.